Hi there! In today's video, I'm once again working on my Captacity YouTube short caption generator. And today, I would like to add some text transitions. So I want to have the following things. First of all, I would like to highlight the current word that is being spoken. And second, I would like to have some zoom in effects as the captions appear. And I would like to add some fade in effects also as the captions appear. And I would like to be able to animate the captions coming in letter by letter. So let's try to do at least some of those things in today's video. And let's start by creating a YouTube short that we can create the captions in. And I will use my Shortrosity project to do that. So let's create a prompt.txt and let's add here some sort of idea for our short. Let's say that OpenAI has released GPT-7. And let's just leave it at that and let's see what GPT-4 would think that would look like. So let's run python 3 main.py and let's add our prompt.txt in there. And let's take a look at our short without the captions. So let's open this.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7, a complex marvel pushing the boundaries of what is possible in machine learning. This bot may redefine our interactions with digital companions. Indeed, AI's future looks bright, powered by ongoing ingenuity and advancement.
Okay, we have a short, but we don't have captions. So let's then move this thing into our Captacity project in /Captacity and let's add some captions to it. So we're going to run python 3 main.py here and we are going to pass in our short.avi. And by the way, I made some changes to the code off camera since the last video. So basically I added a shadow. So we have now a shadow strength and a shadow blur. And when the shadow strength is 1, it means we are going to draw one shadow with the opacity of 1. If we have 2 as the shadow strength, then we are going to draw 2 shadows with the opacity of 1. If we put something like 1.2, then we're going to draw one shadow with opacity of 1 and another shadow with opacity of 0.2. And this is basically the only way that I could think of how to make this, because by default, MoviePy allows only an opacity up to 1, which of course makes sense, but opacity of 1 is not quite always enough, so I had to implement this. And then shadow blur is basically the blur radius of the shadow, and it is actually calculated based on the font size. So in this case, it is basically 10% of the font size. And this way, if we change the font size, then the blur still looks nice. And how I implemented the shadow strength is that we first said that we have shadow left of the whole amount of the shadow strength. And while we have shadow left 1 or more, then we subtract from it 1, and then we create a shadow with the opacity of 1. And then after this while loop is done, if we still have some shadow left, then we are going to create one shadow with the opacity of shadow left. And that works nicely. So this is probably ready. So let's open it. VLC with transcript.avi.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7, a complex marvel pushing the boundaries of what is possible in machine learning. This bot may redefine our interactions with digital companions. Indeed, AI's future looks bright, powered by ongoing ingenuity and advancement.
Okay, so this is what we have so far. But I want to highlight the current word as it is spoken. So how can we do that? Let's figure this out. Currently, we have this function, createText. And it takes the lines of text to be drawn, which is basically just a string with new lines. And what this does is it actually calls the text clip class of MoviePy, and it creates the text. And then if we have a blur radius, then we're going to create basically the shadow. So then we are going to use the pillow library as well. So we take the text clip from MoviePy and we convert it into a pillow image. And then we add some padding around the image so that when we blur the background, it's not going to clip in the edges. And then we blur the thing and then we just save that as an image clip. But as you can see, we are just passing the whole text into text clip and we are giving it a color. So we don't have a way to create text with multiple colors, which means we have to draw every word separately if we want to have one word in a different color. And of course, that creates other issues because we have to then position the words properly. And if I want to add the effect that we can see one character appearing at a time, then we probably have to create this thing character by character. So I think a good place to start would be to create a function like create text, but that would not return a video clip, but multiple video clips. So it would basically make a video clip out of every character in the text, which is sure to slow down this whole process, but I can't see any other way of doing it. So let's start by doing that. Let's call this create text chars, something like this. And let's copy all of these things and put them here. And we have to basically split the text into characters, which is exactly what is going on here. And somehow Copilot knows what I'm trying to do. So for every character in the text, we are going to create the clip and we will append that to the clips. And then we return the clips. Okay. And I guess I can add here that this is going to be a list of video clips. Now the video clips are positioned in main, I believe, by setting the position. But now we have to set the position of each of the characters. So we can't just use center here because then all the characters will be on top of each other. So now we actually have to calculate the positioning by ourselves. So we need a function that takes a list of video clips and then arranges them side by side. And I wonder if I can use this composite video clip to do that. I think I can. And I'm guessing that the composite video clip also extends video clip. So then I can position this thing. Okay, that makes sense. So we need a function that will take a list of video clips and then combine them into a composite video clip where they are side by side, which I guess we could do in here already. But let's make a separate function. Let's call this create composite text. And this one should take in the list of video clips. So this is going to be clips. And let's say that this is a list of video clips. And that should be all we need here. And it wants to return a sum of clips. I wonder if we have actually some sort of sum in here. Because can't you like override those things in Python? Maybe that is just a hallucination by ChatGPT. So what I think we have to do is we have to make a list. Let's call this clips and let's call this text clips. And then for text clip or just clip in text clips, we're going to set the position and then append it to the clips. And the position is going to be 0, 0 at first. And then we have to get the width of the video clip. So width is going to be clip size 0. Okay, that's easy enough. And then we have to set the position, clip.set position to the position. But we have to then add to the position the width of the clip. And we probably don't pass the kerning into this one. We pass the kerning into this one. So kerning is basically the spacing between the characters. So I will remove this because I guess it doesn't have any effect on just one character. And we would add the kerning here if we need to do that. But let's not implement that yet. And then we just return clips. And in fact, we will return a composite video clip of the clips. And let's define that here as well, that it is a composite video clip. And we have to import that. Okay, so then I really would like to have one function that combines these two. And this should be composite. So I don't know what to call this thing. I will just say create text X. Kind of like in Raylib, they have draw text and draw text X and so on. So let's use a similar thing here. So this is going to do basically this. We take the text and the font size and everything, and we create the text characters, and we pass them into create composite text, and we return that. So technically, we should be able to go to our main and just say create text X here. And also in create shadow, we are using create text. So we just use create text X, which we have to import from here, create text X. And since this is a composite video clip that it returns, it should just work. Let's see if it just works. Let's run it. Python 3 main.py with the short.avi. Okay, now that took a little bit longer than previously, but I think it was still acceptable. So let's try to run VLC with transcript and see if it should basically look the same. But let's see.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded.
It does not basically look the same. They are all in the middle. Why is that? Let's go back and see. So here we set the position to the position, which we set here to position 0 plus width and position 1. But what is the position relative to? Should we define the width of the composite video clip first? I mean, not really. Set position. Let me open up that video again and see what it looks like.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7, a complex marvel pushing the boundaries of what is possible in machine learning.
They're definitely on top of each other. So why did the positioning not affect? Is this not correct? What if I set this to 50 and then I run this thing again? I should probably have a better way of testing this because it takes quite a while. It takes like 2 minutes to render this thing. So now if we open it with a fixed width, what does it look like?
In the world of artificial intelligence,
it's exactly the same. So the positioning doesn't work quite properly. Let's create just a test. So test.py. And here we are going to import from text drawer some functions. And we are basically going to say that the text is going to be create text X, which is what we want to import, create text X. And we can say hello here. And we can pass in font size of, let's actually use the same font. So let's go to main and let's copy all these things from here. And let's pass all the things there, which are not in the right order. So we have font size and then color. And then we have the font. And then we have background color. Let's actually copy the whole thing from here, like this. And this is going to be hello. And this is a composite video clip, so we should be able to just say that we're going to save it. It wasn't just save, it was write video file. So let's do this. Write video file from the text. Let's call it test.mp4. And it is going to be 30 frames per second. And we don't actually have to even write the video file. We can just save frame and we just say test.png. I think it was like that. So that's all we have to do. And if we then run this python 3 test.py, we will save it and it will look like this, where all of them are on top of each other, which is very weird. What if I set the position? Let's set it here as 50-50. What does that do? We open the test, nothing happens. Position doesn't do anything. If we don't even set it, I know what's going on. Because MoviePy works in a weird way. So basically it will return from this another clip, meaning it will regenerate the image when we call set position. So what we have to do is, let's go back to this version. We have to say that the clip equals clip set position. So then if we run this and we open it, then we have just the age here. And I think the reason for this is that the size of the composite video will be just the size of the clip. So can I set the size? If I do clip equals clip.set size. I don't have set size. Can I just set the size directly? What if I just set the size to, I don't know, let's just do 300 and let's see what happens. Sorry, I have two equal statements here. Let's do like that and let's open it, and that actually worked. And I think the reason was that I set it to exactly 300 pixels and it happened to be 300 pixels. Is that true? Was I such a genius? If I set it to 400 pixels, then I literally guessed the width. Okay, so can we set just the size of the composite video clip? So if I say that the composite is this, and then I say composite size equals new width or total width, and I can do that here. I can say total width is 0 and total width plus equals width. And then I can return the composite. And if I then run this, then does it work? It does not work. And I guess the reason for this is that when we set the position in the clip, if the clip is too small, then we will not actually render anything in the image that is produced. So I have to calculate at first the full width of the text. So let's go back to this and set the size to the full width. And what is the full width? Well, we have to do this loop again. But maybe we can do some Python magic here and say that the full width is going to be sum of the clip size 0 for clip in text clips. Okay. I don't really like this kind of Python magic. To me, it's kind of unreadable. But, I mean, anyway, it works. And it makes it look like we don't have two loops, but we don't. And to me, it makes it feel like we don't have two loops, we have just one. But in fact, we have a loop here. But fine, let's do it like this. And let's run our test.py and let's check it. And now it works. And I do think we need the kerning, because I think there's too much space between the letters right now. And in fact, is that because of the shadow? Or we don't have a shadow in this. Okay, so yeah. Well, let's run the main script again and see if that one works. And then we have to figure out the kerning. Technically, we could calculate the kerning by writing the word hello in the regular way, checking the width, and then writing hello in this way, and seeing how much extra space there is, or how much larger it is. And then just dividing that by the amount of characters, and that is going to be like the negative kerning. But let's take a look at this first. So VLC with transcript.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7, a complex marvel pushing the boundaries of what is possible in machine learning. This bot may redefine our interactions with digital companions. Indeed, AI's future looks bright, powered by ongoing ingenuity and advancement.
Okay, so I saw at least two problems we have. The first one is the kerning is too large, the spacing between the letters. And the shadow has a larger spacing because, of course, we blur the text and then it's going to be larger. So we have to generate a black text first and then we have to blur it afterwards. So let's fix that. How are we creating the shadow? Create shadow lines. And in create shadow, we do create text X. And then we put the blur in here. But we are not going to do this. Let's copy the blur radius. And we in fact have to just do it afterwards. Let's create the text with the opacity we want to use and set the position and the start and end. Actually, that should be in the end. So in between, we have to convert this into a pillow file or a pillow image object and then blur it and then convert it back into an image clip for MoviePy. So this should be the blur radius. Let's go to our text drawer and we have our blur radius code here and our opacity. Actually, opacity is fine already. So we are going to copy this thing, which I might make a function. So I can still keep it here in case I need it. So I'll just say that the text clip is going to be blur text clip, and we give it the blur radius. And let's create it here. Blur text clip, blur radius, which is an integer. And it returns a video clip, and it does all of this stuff. So we take the text clip and the blur radius, and that's all we need. And then we just return the text clip. And we can use blur text clip in our main function. And we can just say that the shadow is blur text clip shadow, and we pass in the blur radius there. And of course we have to import blur text clip. So let's do it here. Blur text clip. And that should actually work. So we create the whole thing as black, and then we blur that, and then we just set the position and everything. Makes sense. Let's run this thing again. And while it's doing that, let's think about the kerning issue. Like I said, we could have a function that calculates a proper kerning, which might be slow, but I mean, how many clips are we actually doing? And I guess we can like cache it or something. Now we could set it manually, but I'm afraid that it's going to be a different kerning for different fonts. So that's why it would be nice to calculate it. Now there might be even a way to get the kerning from the font. Maybe that's possible. But is it even going to be the same for every character? Because at least here, seems like the L's are closer together than the E and the L. Let's actually do test, and let's just use create text. And let's import that. Create text, and let's call this test1. And if we run this, Python 3 test.py, and then we open test1, then this is what it looks like. And it seems that we are in fact going to have this problem. Because here basically all the characters are the same length apart. Basically, not quite, but pretty close. But then in the test.png, the L's are definitely more close than the other ones. So if we move all of them closer the same amount, some of them are going to be too close. But is it just that we have some extra space in here? Because, wait a minute. No, it's actually, if we take a look at this line here, then these are basically back to back here. How about these ones? Yeah, these are back to back as well. But the thing is that the L extends further to the front down here than the E. So with the E, this part is closer to the left side than the top. But with the L, this side is closer to the right than this part. So how do we solve that? Does it mean that every character should have the same spacing? It doesn't really, because these are not monospace fonts. So this is very difficult. And let's see if our shadow works. So this should be ready. And if we once again run with transcript.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7, a complex marvel pushing the boundaries of what is possible in machine learning.
Okay, so now the shadow works, but we have an issue with how much text fits on the screen. And that's probably just that I forgot in my fit function to change to use the text X. Where's my fit function? Calculate lines. Get text size. And this one, okay, this one creates a text clip like this and then gets the size. Which actually doesn't make sense. Why did I do it like this? Because we can get the size directly from the text clip. So let's see, where do we use get text size? Only here. And here the text is just the text. Okay, so let's change this. And let's in fact use the create text X here. And we pass in there the text. And font size and color and font and stroke. Okay. Now I guess I should do like get text size X separately. So let's do this and, sorry, this one. And we don't have to convert it to pillow. We can just return text clip dot size, which should be exactly correct. Yes. So then this one is going to be the X version. And we just return the text clip size. And let's make sure that they are in the same position. So X and Y is 0 and 1. Yes, that is correct. So that should fix that issue. If we actually change this to text X, which we have to import. So let's do X here. But then for the kerning, how on earth are we going to do that? Because we probably have to change the width depending on the character. We could pass in the kerning here, and we could, for example, set the full width to kerning times the length of the text clips. -1, but not really -1. I think because it's not really kerning. This should be just letter width. And then when we create the composite text, we have to pass in the letter width. And we could pass in just the font size. Are we using this somewhere else? No, just here. And let's see what that produces. But let's first look at this one.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7, a complex marvel pushing the boundaries of what is possible in machine learning.
Okay, so the fit function works now, so we don't overflow from the edges. But let's see if the kerning works, which I guess we can just use the test.py to do that. I guess we have to change it back to text X now. So let's go back to this one and let's run it. So now test.png looks like this, which didn't exactly do what I wanted. And clearly I made it too wide now. So what I actually was supposed to do is set the full width and set the width to the letter width. So we just add the letter width every time. So if we now run test.py, then it's going to be very wide, I guess. Okay. So that means I have to change the letter width to not the text size or font size, but font size divided by maybe 4. Isn't the double division like it makes an integer? Is that how it works? Let's run it and let's open it. Okay, those are too close. Let's do divided by 3 and run that. So now, okay. Now H and E are really close together, but the L's are fine. So I really need to get from the specific font how wide the letter is. Or I'm guessing in the font there is like, it's not the actual width of the pixels in the font. It's just how much space should that character create. Let's ask ChatGPT if there in fact is such a thing. Explain to me how fonts work. Does every character of a font have its own width by which to move to the next character? Does that make sense? Let's see. Fonts are collections of characters, symbols, and glyphs that share common design. Each character in a font is known as a glyph, and these glyphs are stored in a font file. Fonts can be broadly classified into two types, monospaced and proportional fonts. Okay, so what are proportional fonts? In proportional fonts, each character has its own width. For example, the letter I is narrower than the letter W. Proportional fonts are more common in everyday use because they look more natural. Okay. Advanced width. This is the horizontal distance to move the cursor for the next character. It includes the width of the character itself and any additional space, side bearings on either side. And then we have side bearings. Okay. Kerning adjusts the spacing between specific pairs of characters to achieve more visually appealing text. Okay. So, can I get the width of a specific character of a font with Python? I need to draw text character by generating the image of the character. But the spacing will not work properly if I use the same width for each character, or if I use the width of the image generated. Let's see. Yes, you can get the width of a specific font by using the pillow library. Okay. I might find out that there's a much easier way of doing this. Here is how you can determine the width of a specific character in a given font. Okay, we load the font and we get the size of the character, width and height. Amazing. So that means we have to get the letter width from the text clip, but we can't really do that. So should we create our own kind of data type? Maybe a class. Can I literally just define here like a class character video clip that extends video clip, and this one will have a character? So can't I just set like a character, or just when we have a init, then we are going to take all of these things, which hopefully are in the right order. Character, font size, color. Sorry, this doesn't really tell me anything. It just repeats what I wrote there. Or does it? Let's go to video clip. And in the init here, we actually have to extend the text clip. Let's do that. Text clip. So should this be just character clip? And what is in here? Let's take all of these things and put them in here. And can't we just call super init? And do we really have to put them separately here? I guess we have to. Can't we use some like ** keyword args? I'm not sure how that works. So let's just put them in there like this. Text, file name, size, color, and hopefully they are all in the right order. So we call that, but we say that self. I mean, wait a minute. I was going to save the character, but it's going to be this one. So do I have in the text clip the text? Can I just access that directly? Self text. So let's forget this thing. We can actually get the character from it. So let's make a proper loop here. And let's say that the full width is 0. And then we get the size of the font. So we have to pass in the font here. Let's do it like this. We don't care about the height. We only want the width. And we get it from the font by the clip.text. Hopefully it is accessible. And then full width plus equals width. And we are going to pass in the font here. And we need to get the width here too, which I don't like. We have to do something here. Let's call it width. And then we have to pass in the font. So do we get the font here? We get the font, but I think the font is it the actual font object or is it just the name of the font? It is just the font path. Okay. So it would be nicer to actually pass in the actual font because I don't want to load it every time. So let's do this. Let's go here and let's say the font path is that. And then the font is going to be image font, true type, font path, font size. Let me find. Where do we use this? We don't use this. Okay, because we use MoviePy to create the text originally. We don't use Pillow. So let's leave it as font. And for now, we are just going to say that the font equals image font, true type, font path, which we want to pass in here. Let's just call it font and font size. But I'm not sure if these are gonna be accurate. But let's pass in the font size. Wait a minute, do we have the size? In the text clip, we have the font size. So let's go to text clip. Where is my text clip? We are going to have here the size of the picture and the font size. Where's the font size? Font size. Don't tell me we don't save it. We don't save it, we just pass it into this image magic command. Okay, so where can we get the font size from? And again, I'm not sure if it is going to be accurate. Well, let's pass the font and the font size. And we have to import image font from Pillow, image font. I mean, maybe we can use Pillow to create the actual text too. Maybe they have a stroke in there as well and a shadow and something. Okay, let's see. We load the font, we get the size of the text, and that should work now. But we have to pass in the font size and the font, which we can actually get from here, and the font size we can get from there. So that's not a problem. Let's run our test.py and see what it will look like. Test.png. Okay, it looks like this. And I'm assuming that the problem here is that it is Pillow versus image magic. But I'm hoping that the ratio is still the same. So if we now go to create composite text and we do here width times, or we can again divide by like 6, I guess. And here we can also divide by 6. Let's see what that does. Okay. It doesn't really work. Wait a minute. Am I doing this correctly now? We get the size of the character from the font with this font size. And then we divide it. Why doesn't it work? It looks like this. It seems like it's adding more and more space. There's something wrong now. Let's go to test and let's add hello there, my friend. Let's run this. Does it get wider and wider? It does not. So what am I missing here? Maybe I'm missing the kerning. Detailed example. So here we calculate the total width from the characters. Okay. And then we're going to create a new image. And we're going to initialize the image draw. And then we are going to basically do what we are doing now. But because here we're using Pillow. Damn it. Maybe we need to change to using Pillow instead of MoviePy. So what is the problem now? Let's first of all print the clip text. Print clip text to make sure that it actually is the correct thing in there. Let's run it. And okay, what is this? That is the clip text. So is the text going to be inside of this file? That is weird. What on earth? Let's go to text clip, and a string of text to write can be replaced by argument file name and text. If text is not none, then if temp text is none, then we're gonna make a temp file and we're gonna write the text in there. What are we doing? Why? Why, I ask you? Why? So should I read it from the file or should I make my own character clip class? Let's read it from the file just to test it out. So let's make a function. Get clip text clip. And this is going to be get clip text clip. And what this will do is it will say that the path is clip.text from 1 until the end, right? So we want just this thing. And then we are going to do with open path in read mode as file. We read the file. So that is the clip text. Let's run this thing again. And sorry, it's not text, it is txt. Let's try again. And no such file or directory, which is probably because of what? Because we didn't create it already, or it will be deleted. Damn it. So I'm going to create my own thing. Let's go back. And we are going to set the clip text to actually clip.text. And let's create that. I guess I can just make a class text clip x. And we use the text clip. And we have the init, which will take all the same things as text clip. Let's go here. Everything like that. And we're going to call super. And then we are going to say that self.text is txt. That's all. So then, instead of calling text clip, we are going to always use text clip x, which is basically just this one place. Right. Okay, so then we should have the text saved in there. So now if we run this thing, it should work. Now we have hello there, my friend. And if we now open the test.png, they're all together because we are still dividing by 6, which probably was because there was many characters in there. So let's not divide by 6. And let's run it again. Let's open it. And we are very close together, which is probably because there's some difference between MoviePy and Pillow. So let's do width times 3. Width times 3. And let's try that. And hopefully there is still a relationship between them. This already looks kind of, I mean, the L's are still closer together. What if we do 2.4? I mean, it needs to be an integer. Does it? What if I just do 2 and then I run it? Then it will look like this. Okay. And if I put 2.4, I need to make it an integer. And what does this look like? It looks like this. And the L's are definitely closer together. So I'm not sure if this is doing anything. Let's again do in our test the regular one. Just create text. And this can be test 1. So let's run this. And let's open test 1. And let's keep this open. And let's compare these two. Wait a minute. Why do they look exactly the same? I did some mistake now. I call them both text. This is text 1. And then run it. So this is what it should look like, but it looks like what? Yeah, it looks like this. So it's very close. The L's are wrong. Why are the L's wrong? But the I is fine. Just the L's are wrong. I'm not sure if I even care about the L's. I mean, can you really tell that this is somehow wrong? They're kind of overlapping, but do I care? Now, one problem we have is that the D in the end is kind of clipped because we only move forward the size of the character, the width of the character, but it is not the same as the size of the image of the character. So how can we fix that? I really don't like this magic number here. This is 2.4. And let's actually print the width and the text the other way. Clip and width. So are they actually different or are they all the same? They are different. So L's are 14. I is 13. Okay, that makes sense. E is 20. Now how about the kerning? Here we are not caring about the kerning. Okay. So let's leave it like that, but we have to add to the full width what? Do we only loop until the next to last one, and then the full width plus equals the text clips last one size 0? So from the last clip we add the actual size of the clip, but from the other ones we add just the size of the character. So if we now run test.py, then now it should not clip it anymore. Yes, I am in fact a genius. So let's take a look at this. Let's render the whole thing and open it.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7, a complex marvel pushing the boundaries of what is possible in machine learning. This bot may redefine our interactions with digital companions. Indeed, AI's future looks bright, powered by ongoing ingenuity and advancement.
Okay, I'm quite happy with that. Maybe it was a little bit weird. Let's actually compare these two. So this is the one that we are now generating, and this is the original. So you can't really tell that much difference between these. I think it's fine. It's fine. So now, 2 hours later, we have accomplished absolutely nothing. It still looks exactly the same as before. Okay, it is now the next day. And what I discovered, just as I was starting to film this part of the video, is that the font that we get from imagefont.trueType not only has a getSize method, but it also has a getLength method. And if you take a look at the description here, returns length in pixels of given text when rendered in font with provided direction, features, and language. This is the amount by which following text should be offset. So this seems like exactly what I was looking for, not get size. So ChatGPT doesn't know what it's talking about. So let's try this. What if we say get length, and then we pass in the text here, and then we add to the full width the width. Now we still might want to add some sort of multiplier there, and I think we have to pass in features. What are features? Actually, this gets the font size already, so that is how it calculates it. So this should be enough. Let's see how this behaves. So if we just get the length, and that is going to be the width. So let's do it. Python 3 test.py. And sorry, this is not a tuple anymore, so we need to remove this stuff. And this is going to be a float, which we can't use here. So we could probably do something like set the offset x as 0, and then the position is going to be offset x and the number 1, which is going to be always 0 because we initialize like this. And I guess we don't even have to initialize like this. We can just say 0. And then we can just say offset x plus equals width, and this will be cast into an integer. I mean, I'm assuming that it cannot be a float. Let's actually see, just to be sure. Maybe it can be a float. Let's run it again. Position referenced before assignment, because we don't even want to set the position variable at all. We just put this here, like that. And then we run it. And yes, we cannot have a float in there, so let's convert this into an integer. So we still will have the floating point in the width, but it will be cast into an int when necessary. And I think the full width is the same thing. We have to have that as an integer. So let's try now. Okay, it ran, and let's open test.png, and now it looks like this. So what happened here? Let's again print out these values. Let's print the clip.text and the width. And let's run it. And it looks like this. Okay, so they are similar to the previous numbers. And let's actually compare the numbers. We can do that. We can say here font.getSize with the clip text and get, I think, the 0 from that. What does this look like? Okay, well, that clearly is our issue. Because, for example, with the E, the length is 14 here, but it is 20 in the get size. So that's why after E, the L has a lot of spacing in the previous version. But actually, it should be 14. So we might need to still add the times 2.4 or something. Let's do that. So let's do times. Let's do scale factor. And then we can just define it in one place. And here again, scale factor. And let's say that scale factor is 2.4. And let's try to run this now. Okay. And let's take a look at text. Okay. Now it seems like all of the characters are the same amount too close. So now we just have to change our scale factor. Let's put 2.6. And if we then take a look at this, it's still not enough. So maybe 3.2. And now it's starting to look pretty good. And the spacing is perfect. But I think they are too far apart. A little bit too far apart. So let's put just 3.0. And now it looks basically the same. There's not really any difference between these. Maybe it's a little bit closer together. Let's actually do, can we do like file test.png? Does it tell the size? And file test1.png, it is a little bit bigger. So we can make it 3.1 and then run it. And this one is 998 still, of course, and this is too big. 3.01. Run it and check it. Almost. Let's put 3.02. Magic number. And now it's too much. 015. I really want it to be exactly the same. 999. 14. And now it's not enough. Let's put 2. Okay, now it is exactly the same size as the original. So there can't be really any difference. I mean, I guess they can, but look at this. Is there any difference between these two things? I don't think so. Now we just have to hope that our 3.012 factor works for every font. I think it should work because this should be just a factor to convert from the Pillow library into MoviePy with the same font size. Or does the stroke matter here? Damn it. But the stroke is not 3. And anyway, I think the stroke should not make the text wider. At least not the spacing. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay, so let's add a comment here. Factor to convert Pillow to MoviePy. Okay, and we can remove this print here. So now that we have spent 2 hours and seemingly accomplished nothing because the result is exactly the same. Let's actually try what the result is now. Python 3 main.py short.avi.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7, a complex marvel pushing the boundaries of what is possible in machine learning. This bot may redefine our interactions with digital companions. Indeed, AI's future looks bright, powered by ongoing ingenuity and advancement.
Okay, that looks perfect. So now, let's add different colors to different characters or different words. Basically, we want to highlight the current word. And how can we do that? Well, currently we don't have a way to specify different colors for different characters. So I think what we should actually do here is we should probably define our own type for the characters. So instead of having a list of video clips, we would have a list of like characters. Character. Did we create a character clip already? No, we created just text clip X. But this is not really a clip. Character clip. It's just a character. And then the character could have the actual character and then the color and maybe a zoom factor and maybe some positioning up and down and opacity and stuff like this. And then we would pass that character list into this create composite text. So let's do that. For now, I'll just define it up here. So we are going to have a class class character. And the character is not going to have any of this stuff. It will have an init and it will get the text. Now I'm wondering, could the character actually be text as well? Like, could it be multiple characters? Because we might not always want to draw character by character. But anyway, let's see. So we're going to have the text and we are going to have font size. Let's actually start this by writing the code how we would like to use this library. So if we want to do this, hello there, my friend, and there would be in red and the other ones would be in yellow. How do we want to write that code? We would say something like text is a list and we will have a character and yeah, we would have like an H which is in one color. So we really want to have a word. It might be ultimately a character in the end, but it would be easier to do this. So we could have a word, hello, and then we could say the color is something. This is yellow. And let's start by that. And then we would say there and my and friend. And then we will make there red. And maybe we can even omit the color because we are still passing here the color. And it doesn't really make sense. If we want the whole text to be the same color, then we would have to add the color separately. So maybe we want to do just like this. The text is that. We have a word, hello, with no color defined. Then we have a there with color red, and then my and friend are without colors. And then we would pass this text in here. And let's remove this. I don't want to use that anymore. We just do the one text. But a word would probably be still just a bunch of character objects. So let's go back to that text drawer. And let's just have now the text and the color. And color is none by default. And this just sets the text and the color. And we want to have the class word as well. And it will have the text and the color as well. But maybe I want to directly convert the word into a bunch of characters. So maybe this is the word. And then we're going to have the word as the word. And then we could do something like for char in word. We're going to say self.characters append character with the char and the color. And I guess we have to say here characters is a list. Okay, we can do that. And then our draw text X, where is it? Or create text X. It will actually take the text, which is a list of words or characters really. So should we have like a base class for these? But these are not really the same thing. Let's see, let's use word at the moment. Can we say like list of words or list of characters? I guess we can do that as well. And this shouldn't really call create text chars because this should return a list of characters, but we have a list of characters already, or words. Or maybe we do need this still, but it takes in a list of words or a list of characters and then converts those into the video clips. So this is not a character clip, this is going to be a video clip. Okay, it's still like this, but this is not char. This is going to be item. For item in text, and let's define that this is also a list of characters or a list of words. I think I defined them the other way down there. So let's do this. And then if it is a word, then we are going to create a clip of each character. Okay. And else, if it is a character, then we are just going to create a clip of that character. But I don't want to format it this way because now we have to change two places if we want to modify this. So can I say that if it is a word, then the characters is item.characters, and this is going to be characters, and else the characters is just the item, and then we can put this here. So then we can modify just one place in the future when we want to create it differently. And here Copilot already did this, so we either take the character color or the color we passed in here, if we don't have that. Great. And do we need something else? Create text X. Create text X. Let's import word and character, and let's see if that works. If we now run Python 3 test.py, we got no errors. So let's open test.png and look at this. Why did we write it multiple times? But there is in fact in red. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Hello there, my friend. It's 4 characters. So something is wrong with our logic here. So here we pass in the list. And then the text clips is create text clips from the text. Okay. And this is going to say for item in text. If it is an instance of a word, then the characters are item characters. Otherwise, it is just a list of that item. And then we do this. So in our case, it is a word. These are all words. So for every word, so this happens 4 times. And it is a word, so we get the characters, and then we create a clip of each of the characters. Aha. Yes, there's the text. Wait a minute. Let's print the text. What is in there? Hello there, my friend. Hello there, my friend. Hello there, my friend. Hello there, my friend. Okay. So why is it there so many times? Let's go here. When we create a word, we take the word as text, and then we add every character of that word into the characters list. So let's do this. Print creating word, word. And here, print adding character, character. And then let's print just an empty line here and run it again. So what did we do? Creating word hello, creating word there, creating word my, creating word friend. Okay, then what? We pass them into here. And when we are here, we will have the list of words. Let's print. We have a list of these, and it is text. And let's not print these anymore. Let's run it again. We have a list of these. Word, 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 word. Great. And then we can print the word item dot word has the characters item characters. Let's do this. Okay, so we have the word hello has these characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Don't tell me that these all have the characters. Am I using Python wrong? So, does it mean that when I initialize this as a list, and then I do self characters append, then this is like a global thing? Impossible. Do I need to initialize it here? Self dot characters is an empty list. Don't tell me that is what I have to do. That is exactly what I have to do. So, oh no. So now if I go here, here, then it works. But we don't have spaces. Really? Okay, so you learn something new every day. How come? Oh man. Well, that's a stupid thing. Really, if I do this, and then I say self characters append, then it is like a global thing. Makes no sense. Anyway, now it works, but we have to add spaces in there. So let's do that. If we are using a word, then when we create the text in create text jars, we should add a space between each word, which I guess we might want to disable if you, for some reason, want to add words together in different colors without a space. But so technically we could just add it here, but maybe that is not so nice. We could do that. So perhaps what I will do is I will add it here, and I will add a flag for adding spaces or not. So if it's a word, then we get the characters and we want to append a space. So chars.append a space. But we don't want to do this for the last word. So can we do something like item in enumerate text. So then we get the index, and we can say if I is less than the length of the text minus 1, then we're going to append the space in there. If also add space between words is true, and this is true. So we can add it here. Add space between words is true by default. So now, if we go and we run this again, it should have spaces. Let's take a look. Yes, now we have spaces. Amazing. So how do we now highlight the current word in the actual captions? Let's remove our prints from here first. We don't need these anymore. And is this actually going to work anymore? I think it won't work because we are using create text X, which now takes a list. But we are passing into create text X in our main just the text as text. So first of all, we might want to support still a string. So let's add or str. And then let's create a function that converts a string into basically a word or characters. So let's say if it is a string, then we are going to actually do this. So yeah, does that even need its own function? I kind of feel like it does need its own function. So let's create a function. str to char list text. And let's create that one. str to char list text. And it will do this. So then this should still work. Let's try. If we run python 3 main.py with short.avi, it should work, but we have just one color. And while that is doing it, let's see if we can highlight the current word. Let's go to main. And here we are looping through each of the captions. And in the caption, we have the text and we have the start time and the end time. But I believe we also have the words. Let's actually see. Do I have segments.json here? I do not have a segments.json. So I am going to have to print what is in here. Or I can save the segments, I guess. Let's do with open segments.json in write mode as f write JSON dumps segments indent 4. And actually, for some reason, this is now hanging. So perhaps we made some mistake. Let's see. Let's stop this. And what was it actually doing? It was doing something. It was calling the sub process to create something. But let's run it one more time. And we should have a segments.json after whisper finishes. So here we have segments. So this is what we can work with. We have the text and start and end, and we even have a list of tokens, and then we have words. And here we have the start and end of the word. So we need to know the current timestamp, which I'm not sure if we know right now because we changed it to this method. So in the initial version, we were just going through each frame of the original video, and then based on the frame, we were checking what time it was. But now we're just looping through the captions, and then we are using the length or the duration of the caption as the duration of the text element or the text clip. But I guess what we can do is we can here, for each of the captions, we can loop through the words. So for word in caption, words. And by the way, this finished actually already. So let's take a look. VLC with transcript.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much...
Okay, so it seems to work. But let's highlight the current word. So we can loop through each of the words, and then we can get the word start time and end time, which is just in start and end. So we can say start time is word start, and end time is word end. And we still calculate the lines based on the caption text, but we are actually going to indent all of this. So we're going to do all of this for each of the words. Now, I realize that the lines probably doesn't work. We happen to have just one line per caption, but let's see. So now we want to use the start and end time of the word instead of the caption. So here we say start and end time. And of course, this is the start time as well. So basically, now we are, for every word in the caption, drawing the whole caption on the screen. So then we just have to pass in here a list of words instead of just a string. And we have to color one of the words in a different color. So let's do that. We have the lines here. And I guess we can say that the words is going to be lines.split. And by default, it will split by a space, so we don't have to define that it's a space, just split. Or is it just a space, or is it a new line as well? I'll define it, so it's for sure just a space. I mean, we could just use the caption text. Let's do that. Caption text split. And then the word list is going to be an empty list at first. And we are going to do for word in, we have word already. So what is this? Let's just call it W in words. We are going to do word list append word object, and the word object is going to be a word, which we have to import. Let's do it. From text drawer, we import word. And what we want to do then is we want to pass in here the W. And we want to pass in the color, which is a color. The color will be different if it is the current word. So how can we check the current word? If we enumerate this word, then we can say current word index and word in enumerate words. And we can also say here index W in words. These are great names for variables. Enumerate words. So is current is if index equals current word index. And if is current, which I guess we can do just like this. If the index is current word index, then the color is going to be red. Let's actually define it like word highlight color. Else color is, well, I guess none, because we are going to pass in the color over there. Okay. Now technically we could just make a word like this, and then we could after this say if the index is the current word index, then the word object color is going to be that. But we might want to have like a set color method. Let's do that. Set color like this. And let's go to the word and let's add here set color, which will just set the color for all of the characters, in fact. Okay, so let's add to a character as well, set color. And let's do this. And then here we have to also define set color like that. So then we should be able to do this. And let's define this word highlight color. So font color is that, and word highlight color is red. And let's also add highlight current word to true. And then let's do that check down here. If highlight current word, and we are on the current word. Now this actually should be done up here. We shouldn't go into this loop if we are not going to highlight the word. So can we do something like this? Let's take the highlight current word from here. And if highlight current word, then we are going to loop through each of the words, and captions to draw is going to be append. Let's define it here. Captions to draw is an empty list. And if we want to highlight the words, then we loop through each of the words and we add to captions to draw the text of the caption, the start of not the caption, but the word, and the end of the word. And then we need the current word index again, which we don't have to put in here. Let's just do this. No need to enumerate these. So then we're going to have in captions to draw the text of the caption and the start of the word and the end of the word. Else, if we don't want to highlight the current word, then we add to captions to draw the current caption directly, which will have the start time and the end time and the text of the actual caption. And then for caption in captions to draw, and here we're going to have the current index and the caption and enumerate like this. And then let's just call it current index because it might not be the word index really. It might be the caption index. And then we still have to say here, if highlight current word and index is current index. And index comes from this. Now, this is still an unnecessary loop because we don't have to set the color if we don't want to highlight the colors. But these operations are slower, but the calculate lines is pretty slow because it has to actually draw the word or draw the caption. So I think that's enough. And then we have to pass the word list into here and here and here. I mean, I'm not sure about the shadow if it matters, but let's pass it in there anyway. Let's actually check. Create shadow. It just passes it to the create text X. So let's do it like that. And let's see if this thing works. So we should now highlight the current word, but we are not using lines anymore. So we will just have a word list, which won't work now. We're not going to have multiple lines. We're just going to have one line. And I wonder, why did we have just one line per caption? Did we have that? Let's check.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded.
Yes. Did I change it in the past already so that we are going to show just one line? Where's my fit function? Okay, I changed it actually to just one line. And that's fine. So let's try it now and then let's try to fix the lines. Let's run this again. And hopefully it is not too slow. Okay, it is pretty slow, so we probably have to do some optimizations at some point. But now we are actually doing it, so it's not terrible. It's just bad. But bad is not too bad. Now the rendering part is very fast for some reason. So I feel like something went wrong now. It's too fast. Normally that takes 2 minutes, and the first part takes just a few seconds. But now it was kind of the opposite way. Let's see what we have in withtranscript.avi.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7.
Okay, so I can see that we are highlighting the words, but we are only drawing the shadow for some reason. Why is that? Create shadow with the word list. Text is create text X word list. I think it is because of the default color. So we are using the color of none. Because I forgot to make it so that if it's none, it will use the color that we pass in. No, I did that. Wait a minute. Clips append shadow. Clips append text. Okay. Because for the shadow, we are definitely setting the color here as black. But aren't we doing the same thing down here? We set the font color, which is going to be yellow. Let's go to create text X. And we pass in the stuff here. And the text clips are create text jars, font size, color. And here we create the text with the character color or color. Interesting. Why does that not work? I think it is because of the start time and end time. Because in the create shadow, we pass in the caption. So the caption is going to be used for the start and end time. And here's the problem. We set the duration to end minus start, but I put it here as start minus end. So this should be end time, and this should be start time. Then it should work. So let's render this thing again. And let's figure out the new lines. How are we going to implement that? In the line data, we will have the lines. So technically, we could just draw the lines separately. So this could be for line in data lines. We're going to do this. But then we have to manually move the line down. Do I really want to do that? What if we actually do get the lines like this, and then we say words is lines split with a space. So then the new line will be included in the word. And can I then do something in create text X where the characters will move down when we have a new line? So when we do create text chars, we could do something very hacky like this. We could say that the new lines is an empty string, and if the char.text is a new line, then we add to new lines a new line. And then we are going to create the text with the new lines in the beginning plus text. So then when we do create text, which is somewhere, where's the actual create text? It's here. Then the text will have a new line. And when we create a text clip, this supports a new line, so it will move the thing down one line. Amazing. Let's see if this is ready. It is ready, so let's open it.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded.
Okay, what's going on here? Sometimes it highlighted it.
OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7, a complex
Okay, there's something wrong with the start and end times again. Let's go back to main. And here we pass in the caption, which is captions to draw. So in this case, it should be that. So it's caption text and start is word start and end is word end. Fine. So how come it doesn't work? It should be the same thing in the shadow. Set start, start time. Set duration, end time minus start time. And where is start time? It is, it is word start. This should now be caption start and caption end, which I might just, do I use them somewhere else? No, I use them just down there. So I will just use them like this. This is start time, this is start time, and that is end time. That is the problem. Let's render it. And while it is rendering, let's actually make the two-line thing as well. So here we are going to put two lines. And let's open a new terminal. And let's run here Python 3 main short.avi and do it simultaneously. Okay, the first one is ready. So this one is going to be with only one line. But it should now work with the word highlighting.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7, a complex marvel pushing the boundaries of what is possible in machine.
Okay, it works, but since I have a hard-coded output file, the other one is now replacing that one. So, okay, but at least it works now. So let's see if the multi-line thing works as well. And let's open this one. So this is going to be with the two-line transcript, hopefully.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7.
Okay, it doesn't work. Why? Let's see. So we are here calculating the lines from the caption text. And then lines should be just the two lines. Let's actually print the lines here. And let's print an extra new line in there as well. And then in words, when we split with a space, we should have a new line as one of the words, right? Or it should be in the end of one of the words. So let's actually print words, which are words, and a new line. And then we make the list of these word objects and we pass them in here. Create text X. And this one will create the text chars. So here we pass in the words again. And then new lines is an empty string. And we loop through all of the words in here. We get the characters. And then for each of the characters, if the text of the character is a new line, then we add to the new lines a new line. And that will be added to the beginning of all of the next characters in all of the words that are passed in here, because we define this here. And we don't necessarily have to add it to the first one because this is just a new line, but that should just be an empty image, so I don't really care. But maybe there's something with a new line being in the beginning. It shouldn't really matter. Let's print drawing and let's add new lines plus jar text. And let's run it and see what happens. Okay, we draw a bunch of things. Drawing in, the, what? Why do we print this so many times? Let's remove this. Where were the other prints? I think those prints came just from the calculation of the lines. So that seems to be really the slowest portion of this, because we have to calculate the lines so many times, which is kind of unnecessary. So we might want to add some caching to it. Okay, in the world of artificial. Aha, that's interesting. So that's probably the problem. These are together. They should be separate. And basically, this should be a 4 times here, right? So, in the world. How many times is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times. Not sure why it's 5 times. Because we have 4 words. Oh, but yes, we have 5 words in there, actually. And, okay, there are multiple problems here. First of all, so let's try to fix this, that these are together. How do we fix that? If we go to main and maybe just join them with a space and a new line, then that means that the new line is going to be attached to the next word. Let's see this first. How will this look like? Okay, so now it looks like this, but I'm not sure if that's still going to work. And this also is intelligence, technological, yes. Okay, and then we are going to actually render the video. And here is what it looks like.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative.
Okay, why is it there? What happens to make it there? How are we positioning this? We are setting the position to position, which is, what is the position? It's just this, which is a global variable. Are we changing it? I don't think so, because we should call global position somewhere if we can. I don't think so, because we should call global position somewhere if we want to be able to do that. So it's center. So that means there's something weird going on. The word list is created here, and the words are lines split with a space. Okay, and we saw the words here. They are like this. That is fine. So one of the words is going to have a new line in it, which means that when we do create text and we do create text chars, we are going to see that in the characters, the text is a new line, which means we will add to new lines a new line. So then we are going to create text with that. And this is going to be saved in here. So then the next character will also have a new line in the beginning. Okay, what if I don't add this? What happens then? Run this thing again. We should probably go back to our test and see if here we have hello there, my, and in the beginning here we have a new line. And let's actually now enable this thing. And in our test, if we run python3 test.py, we are going to create an image like this. First of all, we add this space in the end for some reason. And if we now remove these new lines from here and we run it, then I'm assuming that the whole thing is here. Okay, that makes sense. So now I know what's going on. When we add the new lines here, the text that is created is going to be like double the size. So let's go in here, and where do we set the size? We just create the text with the text clip, and then we blur the text clip. How does that work? Blur text clip. We just convert it into pillow, which is done over here, which should work just fine. We blur it. That's fine. This is not about the blur. It's just about the text. So we create the text clip and we append that here. And then we are going to pass that into create composite text, which is this one. And here we are calculating the full width, but here we should take into account the new line. So if the text clip is a new line, we just continue. That doesn't affect the full width. And do we set here the size, the height of this thing? Composite video clips. Okay, let's do that first. If we now run test.py and we open test, it's still too wide. Why? Well, actually, yeah, because we still add the next characters. So we need to, in fact, save all the widths of every line, and we have to take the longest line. So let's initialize here a line width, which is 0. And here we're going to add to line width. And when we encounter a new line, then the line width is going to be 0. And if line width is greater than full width, then full width is the line width. So that's going to be the longest line. And we have to do this, I guess, once down here, in case the last line doesn't end with a new line. So we want to check the line width, and if it is greater than the full width, then we use that as the full width. Okay, so let's try this. Run it and open it. What? It still doesn't work. Full width. Okay, I think this is getting too complicated. I will go back to drawing each line separately. So let's Ctrl Z this thing all the way back there. Okay, so we are not supporting any new lines in here at the moment. So if we now run test.py, what will this do if we have a new line in there? It will just do that. So new lines are not supported. But if we want to have new lines, then we have to create the text with a different positioning. I'm not sure if I like this idea, but let's see. So here, we are not going to do any of that stuff. We are going to set the lines to 2. We want to draw 2 lines. And actually, we have to go back even further. So here, we are taking the words from the caption text and splitting them by words. And I will do this again. So start time is going to be here like this, and this is end. And we are going to do for line in line data lines. We are going to draw every line separately. And then we're going to do all this stuff in there. And we have to have a text Y offset, which is 0. And words are now line split. So line is the text of one line. And then we do all this stuff. And the position is now the position in the middle, but we don't want to do that. And I think it doesn't matter where the position is here, because this is just the text, I guess. let's see where it goes. So if we do this, and the X is just 0, and the Y is text Y offset, and down here we are going to say text Y offset plus equals line data height. And do we still have the height in there? Yes, we do have the line height, which is just the text size 1. And text size X returns just the size of the clip of text. Okay, that seems to make sense. So now we are drawing every line and then moving the offset. And then we create the composite video clip with the clip. Yeah, the positioning is not going to be correct now. We probably have to make a composite video clip of just the text and then add that centered into the composite video clip of the original clip or the original video. Let's see how this works. If we run now Python main.py, what will it look like?
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative.
Okay. So, first of all, these should not be word. These should be caption. And we should have 2 lines. So here, this should be 2. Let's try again.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7, a complex marvel pushing the boundaries of what is possible in machine learning.
Okay, we have a bunch of issues here. First of all, the positioning is now off. It's up there in the corner. And we are highlighting here the second word of both of these lines. And the shadow is still in the middle. So let's go back and fix these issues. So for the shadow, we are using the position directly from the global variable. So that's why the shadow is in a different position. So let's pass the position in here directly. Let's say caption and position. And then when we call this, we have to say caption and position. But we don't want to use the global position now. We want to use this thing. And this probably should be center. So it's centered horizontally. So let's just call this pause for now. And let's pass it in here. Pause and here pause. And let's define it somewhere. Pause equals that. Centered and then Y offset, which right now is 0. But let's figure out how to actually center it later. So now it should be centered. But then we check if the index is the current index. But the current index now is correct. That is the current word index. But this index is wrong. This should be the index starting from all the way from the beginning. So I will not enumerate the words anymore, and I will not get the word index from here. I am going to say index plus equals 1, and after this thing. And I will set it here. Index is 0. So then that should be the correct index. So now if we run this thing, it should be centered horizontally, but then starting from the top. And the shadow should be in the correct place and the correct word should be highlighted. So then we have to figure out how to center the text vertically. Now it seems to me, if I understand correctly how MoviePy works, we should be able to create a composite video clip from just the text clips. Let's see, clips is now the video to begin with. What if we just make an empty list for the clips and we only add the shadows and the texts into the clips? And then down here we say that text clip is going to be composite video clip from the clips, and video with text is going to be composite video clip of the original video and the text clip. And the text clip will have a position and maybe even a duration, I'm not sure. Let's add set position, and this is going to be the global position. So we create just a clip of only the text, and then we put that clip in the center of the video clip. Hopefully that works. Let's save this again. And let's see if this is going to be ready soon. And let's take a look.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7, a complex marvel pushing the boundaries of what is possible in machine learning.
Okay, we are very close now. Let's try to run it with those last changes. So then it should be centered. And there's one thing I noticed, which is that when the speaker pauses, the whole text disappears for a moment. So what we should do is when we go through each of the captions, then we need to make sure that the end of the word caption is the start of the next caption. How do we do that? I guess we can again enumerate. Can we use I here? For I word in enumerate caption words, we can say that the end is going to be caption words index I plus 1 if such a thing exists. How do we do that in Python? If I plus 1 is less than the length of the caption. Otherwise, we're going to use the caption end. But not the caption end, but the word end. I mean, I guess it's the same thing. And this looks too complicated, so I will just say end, and I will say that end is this, but actually we are going to do it this way. If I plus 1 is less than the length of the words, then end is going to be the end of the next word. Otherwise, it is going to be the end of the word. End is word end, like this. So then we make sure that there is no gaps between the words. Okay, let's see if this is ready. Almost. Here we go. Let's open it.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7.
Okay. It is in fact centered, but it is too small. Why is it too small? We probably have to set a size for it. How do we set that? Let's take a look at composite video clip, which is a video clip, the size of the final clip, okay? So probably in video clip, we have set size, or not. Size. How do we set this? Okay. If make frame, then self size is this. Okay. Can we just set text clip dot size equal to video size? That is not correct. The size is a tuple, so we can do like this. Video size 0. So the width is going to be the width of the video. But what is the height? I'll just try if I put here like, let's do video size 1 divided by 2. Does it change anything? And can I just do video with text, save frame, and can I just exit here? Maybe it will show the first frame. If I run this, and then we open test.png, then it still looks like this. So how do we make the text clip the size of the text? Now I guess if we have to calculate that, then we might as well calculate the position ourselves. So let's go back. And let's just remove this and let's call this clips, and we will add the video into the clips. And then our pos will be text by offset, but we can't really do here like video dot h, which I guess is the height, because we did have here like a h in video clip. We have these properties defined this way, so it gets the size 0 automatically. So we can do video h divided by 2. But it's not going to work because this is going to be the top of the text. So then it's going to go below. But we can move it up only once we know how many lines we have and how tall the lines are. So if we do that, it's going to be almost centered. But then we have to move it up. So we have to calculate how tall is the text. So how on earth do we do that? I mean, when we create a text, this is going to be the clip. Then we can get the size of that clip. So we can say that text height is 0. And here we are going to say text height plus equals the... Oh, we have line data height. We have it already. That's right, because we calculated here. Okay, that's good. So line data height will be added to the text height, which is in fact the same as the text y offset. So we can just use that. So let's not use text height. We have just text y offset. I mean, not really, because now we put it in the middle. Well, we can do it the other way. We can do this. Text y offset is 0. And then we move it down by the height. And then we need to create a composite video clip from this so that we can move it down. So let's go to ChatGPT. How can I set the size of a composite video clip in MoviePy? The clip seems to be cropped. The size of the composite video clip in MoviePy can be set by using the size parameter. Okay, final size. Set the final... Where's the final size? It's here, size. Ah, you pass it in. Okay, let's do again. Text clip is composite video clip from the clips. And this is going to be video and text clip. And we're going to remove the video from here. And we are going to set the size here. Size. Okay. But it is not video size. I mean, I guess it might as well be. And then we can say text clip equals text clip set position. And now I want it to be centered, but we're actually going to put it centered and video.h divided by 2 minus text clip h divided by 2. That's not correct because the text clip h will be the video size h. So this is just text y offset divided by 2. Then it will be in the middle for sure. Let's run it. And maybe we can actually set the size to the actual size of the text, and then we can just use the center positioning here, which I would prefer. So while that is rendering it, let's see if we can do that. So this would be video.h and then, video.w for the width, and this is going to be something. This is going to be the text y offset, because that's the total height. So then we could make this center, center. And this actually should be a tuple, so we probably screwed this up already. So it should be like that. And did we already get an error? We didn't get it yet, but we will get it. So that way it should work. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Do we get the error here? Okay, we actually started to render it, so I guess we can use an array instead of a tuple. But let's see what it will look like.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7, a complex marvel pushing the boundaries of what is possible in machine learning. This bot may redefine our interactions with digital companions. Indeed, AI's future looks bright, powered by ongoing ingenuity and advancement.
Amazing. So that was the previous version, not this one. But I really want it to work with this version. So I will run it one more time and see if that works.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity.
Okay, it does not work. It's centered, but did I in fact use the wrong size here? This should be the correct size. So I'll go back to the previous one that worked. So it was this. Wait a minute. I have to go back all the way to the video size. Like this. So that works. And I noticed this. Since we are using the line data height here, which we already get in the calculate lines function, couldn't we just set the text y offset directly to the video height divided by 2 minus the height of all the lines? So if we did that up here, text y offset is this, and this would be line data height, which is just the one line. So let's modify our calculate lines function to get the full height. So this is the line height, but let's add total height, which we should be able to get from here. And I will in fact change the other way. Let's call this height and this line height. So this will be total height. And then we can say here that total height plus equals line height. And total height is going to be 0 at first. And let's see where we use calculate lines. We use it here and we get only the lines. And we use it here and we get the line data, from which we use the height. So this is going to be just the height because it's the total height. And down here, we should take just the line height, which now that I think of it, we only get the last line height. So the line height is always the height of the line we draw, but we only set this in the loop. So this is really the height of the last line. So if the lines will have a different height, then this will not work, which definitely might be possible. So let's do this. We have the lines here, which is lines to right, which I probably will just call lines. And I am going to add here not just the text of the line, but I will add an object where I have the line, the text, and the height. So now I can get the height of every single line separately and the height of the total text. So then we can go to our main.py. Oh, this is main.py. So we can go down here and we can calculate the lines and we can set the text y offset to the video height divided by 2 minus the total height divided by 2. And then down here, we are going to say line height. Is that what I call it here? For line in line data lines. So line is now actually line text. And do we use it somewhere else? No, that's it. And let's make sure that we don't use the old version anywhere else. So here we just get the length of the lines, which is the amount of lines. So that should now work. For sure, 100%. So let's run the thing and see it work. Except we have to now go back to just having in the clips the video, because we are setting the position directly, so we can't just draw it on the video. This is probably slower if we do it twice, if we run composite video clip first with the text clips and then we add that to the video clip. So we don't have to do any of that. We just put the clips in here, just like we originally did. So now it's going to work because the position is going to be text y offset, which we start by doing that. And then we just add the height of every line. Okay, final run. And it failed. String indices must be integers. String indices. Wait a minute. Line. For line in line data lines. And line data is calculate lines. And lines is not a string. It is a list. Wait a minute. Sorry. Here we are adding the line to draw like this. So let's do this. Let's call it line to draw. And where we create the line to draw, we actually do this. So it's going to be text, which is line.strip, and then height is line height. Okay, one more run.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7, a complex marvel pushing the boundaries of what is possible in machine learning. This bot may redefine our interactions with digital companions. Indeed, AI's future looks bright, powered by ongoing ingenuity and advancement.
Okay. Why does it do that? Why does it change positions? What? Let's go back and take a look. Text Y offset. Line data equals. Calculate lines. And we get the height. So the text Y offset is going to be video height divided by 2 minus line data height of all the lines divided by 2. Then for each of the lines, we position them centered horizontally and we put them vertically at text Y offset. Then we use this position everywhere, and in the end we add the height of the line so that the next line will start lower. So does the line data height change between the captions? Let's take a look.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7, a complex...
What? I don't understand. This should be basically always the same because we have 2 lines every time. So let's print text Y offset, and it is going to be this. And let me not do this. I will just exit here. And I just want to see what comes out from there. Okay, text offset Y is 540 every single time. No, it's not every single time. Okay, so it changes for some reason. Why does it change? I think my calculate lines function doesn't work properly. So sometimes we say that the text width is greater than the frame width. So then we add the line to the lines. But we already added to the total height here, which we should not do. Alright, do we have continue somewhere? No, we are going to show the whole... Wait a minute. We are always going to show the text that comes from the caption. Okay, yeah, it is related to this, because here we are adding to the word index, but here we are not. So we are here going back to the same word. So this should be down here. We only add to the total height when we go to the next word. Okay, now it's gonna work. Trust me. And I will actually do the whole thing. So let's remove the print statement, or let's leave it there so we can see. And let's actually render the video like this. And now the text Y offset is 610. And does it stay the same all the way through? It does not stay the same. Why? Why? Why does it not stay the same? Let's see.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7, a complex marvel pushing the boundaries of what is possible in machine learning. This bot may redefine our interactions with digital companions. Indeed, AI's future looks bright, powered by ongoing ingenuity and advancement.
Okay, I finally got it right. So I had to change it this way. Every time we append to the lines, we add to the total height, the line height. So over here and down here. So now it calculates it properly. And it, in fact, is not quite the same every time for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. It's almost the same, but a couple times it's different. Maybe there's a couple captions where there's only one line. Not sure. But now, if I view this, it in fact works perfectly.
In the world of artificial intelligence, a technological marvel was upgraded. OpenAI, the leading AI research initiative, recently unleashed a remarkable new entity. They announced the much-awaited GPT-7, a complex marvel pushing the boundaries of what is possible in machine learning. This bot may redefine our interactions with digital companions. Indeed, AI's future looks bright, powered by ongoing ingenuity and advancement.
All right, so in fact, there were 2 times where there was just one line in the caption. But now it works. Now we have highlighting of the word. And it only took 5 hours to do this. So I think I am going to end the video here because this is getting too long. Nobody is probably watching it this far. But if you did, then let me know in the comments and give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know what you want to see next in this series. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.